Hello folks, my name is AP the Weird One, and in today's video I'll be ranking the books written by Joseph Heller. Usually when people do rankings, they usually do it online over the computer screen. However, since I own the books in person, I thought it'd be fun to do it this way. Before I begin, I'll give you a brief history of the author Joseph Heller. He was a Russian Jewish American who was born in Coney Island of Brooklyn, New York in 1923. Prior to being a famous author, he was a veteran of World War II and a college professor. He did not become famous until he sold the movie rights for Catch-22. He was married twice and died in 1999. His most famous friends that I recognize are Mel Brooks, Dustin Hoffman, and the author of The Godfather, I believe Mario Puzo. While he's best known for being a book writer, he has also written scripts for theater, television, and movies. With that out of the way, let's get started. The first book is the first one ever written, and it is Catch-22. To me, this is his best work. It's why my dog Major is named Major Major. And so for that, it easily belongs in S tier. Next up is Something Happened, his second work. I do not remember anything at all. In fact, when I cleaned my office a couple years ago, I thought I did not read this book. And kind of for that reason, I think it easily belongs in D tier just because it's a bit forgettable. Next we have Good as Gold. I really like this one. I wish I had read his bibliographies before reading this one, as you'll get a better appreciation for it, as it is a bit of a mixture of his own life plus a little bit of fiction. I would like to like it a little bit more, but for that reason I have to give it a high B. It is a good story and I do recommend it after Catch-22. Next up is Good as God Knows. I honestly thought this was supposed to be very funny. In fact, it's very depressing. Basically, the Jewish empire falls to pieces because King David sleeps with a wife that is not his own, Bathsheba, and I just found it very depressing. There was no humor, really no humor to it at all, and it kind of went on a little too long. And for that, I give it D tier. Next up is his Laughing Matter, his first bibliography, which he and his friend Speed Vogel wrote. This one details his time with Guillain-Barré syndrome, and I really like this. It kind of made him seem very down to earth, and I like seeing both perspectives. I think it's easily an A tier, high A tier in my opinion. Next up is Picture This. This is basically the life of Rembrandt. This was another one I thought was going to be very funny. However, it was very interesting to learn about his life. Although I'm still not too fuzzy, but I did do a little bit of research, so it does seem kind of accurate. Well, I don't think it's funny. I do think it's good, so I'm going to give it C. Next up, we have the sequel to Catch-22 in Closing Time. I don't like this one as much. It kind of demotes some characters, and the ending is very predictable based off the story. It still is humorous. I don't think it's a good sequel to Catch-22. For that, I'm kind of giving it a bit of a low B. Next up is his other bibliography, Now and Then. This is the only book that hasn't received a special cover. This is another one I also really liked. My only problem with it was I kind of wish he had talked about his first wife in this one. It is primarily about New York, but I kind of would have liked a little bit of it about his first wife. In No Laughing Matter, he does discuss his second wife a bit. So, I like it, and it's A tier. Then we have the final book he wrote, which is Portrait of an Artist as an Old Man. This is very small read. I don't find it very funny. I don't know. I wasn't too particularly into this, but it was, I don't know, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. So I kind of give it at least a high C for that reason. However, that is not the last book that he was published by him. There was one other post his death, in addition to Portrait of an Artist as an Old Man, in the form of Catch as Catch Can, which is a collection of his short stories and other writings. I don't remember one of these particular stories, but I do like short story books, such as with the author Charles Krautheimer. And since I do like those, since I do kind of like the short story format, I'm giving it an S tier, but low S tier. Catch-22 is still number one. And for that, this is the end of the ranking. No more books. I'm very happy to kind of read all these books, even if some of them were good, and only a handful were really good. I honestly recommend going on this journey as well, and thank you guys for watching. And I would love to hear your rankings for your Joseph Heller books. Have a good day.